Guys, welcome. I am having a really difficult time uh, recording this video. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why I'm struggling so much. Um, I am such a bad. I'm so bad at putting my thoughts out there, and I can't even write this stuff down because that's even worse. I just sit with my pencil on the paper. So I'm just gonna rant for a minute and hope that something decent comes out. So I don't talk about my personal life much. I am not uh, very public when it comes to social media. In person, I'm very open about who I am, um, but I'm a little different about that on the channel. But I wanted to talk about it today. So I have a black brother. His name is James. He joined our family when I was in high school, which was a very long time ago. Um, Me being the introvert and antisocial that I am, it took us a while to get close. And it was anime that created that brotherly bond between us. Um, Whenever I graduated and moved to the city, uh, he started coming and staying with me almost every weekend for a while, for a long time. And every time he would come up, we would watch anime, and we did that for a couple of years before I moved again. And that's how we really connected and got as close as we are now is through anime. And that's something that I really cherish is my connection with my love of anime with my brothers, who don't look like the type of people who would enjoy anime. But that's not really why I'm making this message today. The message that I want to talk about is how very similar my brother James is to all of us in my family. Um, how we seemingly deal with the same scenarios. We all went to the same high school. We all lived in the same house. We all ate the same meals. We all watched the same TV shows. As far as personality goes, James is very quiet. He is very kind, very patient, very respectable, very polite. He doesn't have a rule breaking bone in his body. He's never committed a crime. Um, he's never broken a law, as far as I know. And yet, he has had to live with a completely different outlook on the world than me and my brother, and the rest of my family, my sisters and my mom. And I think that's so stupid to think that just because I'm white, I can leave my house right now at 12 o'clock and go to the grocery store and grab a drink and come back, and nobody will look at me weird. But he can't. He has to think, it might be a little weird if I go out right now. I'll just go tomorrow. And I can leave my house tomorrow morning and go for a jog through the neighborhood. Maybe go into the neighborhood down the street that's more middle class neighborhood, with more white people. I can go jog through there, and nobody will look at me or wonder why I'm there. Most of them will probably just think I live there. And my brother James probably couldn't do that. If he goes for a jog, he has to think about where he's going. Maybe he has to go to a very public place like a park or something. I don't know. He can't even go places with us without it maybe looking weird to somebody. My mom told me this story one time, a long time ago, about how she and my youngest sister, who was probably like 7 then, and my brother James went to the aquarium together for just a fun family day out. They went to the aquarium, and as they were walking into the door, the guard stopped my brother and was trying not to let him in until my mom lost shit on him and made him back down. And they were going to the aquarium. Like, what's he gonna do? Steal a fish? Like, what? Why? And I get it. Like, she is a middle-aged white woman, and he is a teenage black boy. And for many, that may seem like a weird group. But I don't think that warrants any more than a, thought, maybe. Like, oh, that's interesting. Like, if they're together, they're talking, clearly they all know each other. And yet this guard, like, just decided to stop him because he couldn't understand or couldn't accept that he was coming. So apparently I got this story wrong. I was just recounting from my memory, but my brother and my sister are here with me, and they were both there. So I'm just gonna let them tell the story accurately.
What had actually happened was.
Is that what it is?
So
you need to come closer to feel more comfortable.
I just picked a wedgie. Are you gonna leave that in there?
I don't care.
So, actually, this is the full recount of the story, and I'll just kind of go into a simple summary here. So, obviously, as you might not realize or may realize by now, I am the black brother, James Johnson. Nice to meet all of you. A few years ago, I would say around the time that I was 18, maybe 17 or 18 years old, we actually were going to an arcade that we actually live near, maybe a few miles. That's in our hometown of Charlotte, North Carolina, and we were actually going there to take our little sister Janie for some fun.
That's
and
not me. I'm not the little. I was there.
She was the little sister compared to me, but she was the other little sister. I'm talking about our youngest sister. And we were going there just to, have a fun time as a family. But actually, when we walked in, the security guard, who I have no affiliation or do not even know his name.
The kids had to be supervised by parents.
Correct. Had to walk in with supervision. So we all walked in, and at the time, I guess the security guard did not want to give me access or entry within the arcade or place that we were going to.
Our mom said, "These are my children."
We're not to that part yet, but
yes,
thank you.
Are.
So when he denied me access, our mom came up and she was about to drive away, but she saw that we were not being allowed access, so she came up and she said, "What's the problem?" She said, "Ma'am, I'm sorry, I cannot let this guy in because he's not with you." He's like, "Yes, he is. It's my son." He's like, "Well, we need adult access to prove it." He's like, and she said, "He is my son."
Really close to his face.
Really close to his face. And
I said. That's what she said.
And this is the full recount of the story. And I guess from that day forward, I knew that I was fully a part of the family, and that was my acceptance in.
Okay. So yeah, that's the actual story. I just remembered it wrong, but I wanted to keep my story in because I like my fish joke. So back to the regular video. My brother just got a new job, and his new job requires him to travel. And so this week he had to travel to Atlanta, and so he has been visiting me, and together we have been visiting my sister, who lives about an hour away. And yesterday we drove to her neighborhood, and we stopped at her gate, and she texted us her code, and we were trying to put it in, and a car that lived there drove through and just swiped the gate, and it opened for them. And naturally and instinctually, I was just, hey, why don't you just follow them through, you know? And he was like, no. He's like, I can't do that. I'm black. And I was like, oh yeah. Like, for me, I can't even count how many times I've just driven through a gate because I saw that it was open and I didn't feel like typing the code in. But he obviously can't even consider the idea of going through a gated community without a code. And you know, that's not even if he does put the code in. I saw a video yesterday where a man was stopped in a neighborhood. He was a delivery man. He made a delivery and on his way out, the neighborhood president stopped him and was questioning him on how he got the code to get in. So even if my brother did have the code, there could be a possibility that someone would stop him and ask him why and how. And that's just absurd. Like, I could bust through the gate, and there's a very large possibility that no one would come out and question me about it. You know? It's just unfathomable how big of a difference there is between the two of us, even though there aren't that many differences personality-wise, you know? And that's just, I think the biggest point I'm trying to acknowledge is what it means to have white privilege and how big of a difference it means. If you are white, I want you to think about all the times that you've considered doing anything. Going out, going for a jog, going to the bank, going to the grocery store, anything. And think about if you've ever been worried about looking suspicious or alarming someone or scaring someone. And the answer is probably no. You probably do everything with a just empty thought, you know? As I've been watching everything unfold throughout this weekend, I've just been thinking about how different my perspective is forced to be. Because of my white privilege, I will never truly be able to feel what the black community feels. I can claim to have empathy. I can shout just as loud as they are. I can demand justice. I can do all the same things, but it may come from love and respect and duty and a sense of justice, you know? But I will never be able to fully understand what it means to live in a place that you consider your home, to be surrounded by people that you know on a daily basis, and still not feel like you're truly welcome, or like you're truly safe, or that you're truly recognized as an equal individual. it's just so ridiculous that people are resisting the protests and this push for equality. It doesn't make any sense when so many people are just asking for equality. They're just asking to be treated like a normal person, you know? And so many people are resisting that and acting like they're just causing trouble. And that's this is so stupid. I can rant all I want, but I sit from a very comfortable place, you know? And so I don't want to preach about what's right and wrong. I don't want to preach about what we should do. But I do want to share. I have been looking towards much smarter people to guide me on the right directions to take, because I am very naive when it comes to the world around me. I'm very spacey, and you know, I acknowledge that weakness in myself. And so I've just been following the guys from all of my wonderful friends, both in the Black community and just people trying to help as much as possible. I will share the same things that they have shared with me in the comments or in the description below. Protests or petitions that are in effect right now that you can sign and donate to, and directives that you can take to help affect change. I think the biggest thing that I can do personally is just contribute politically with my vote. I can help kind of, you know, in that aspect. And so, yeah, I'll put those options in the description below. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about that with all of you. My heart goes out to everyone who has ever had to feel cautious about doing simple tasks, and ever had to look over their shoulder while walking in broad daylight. And yeah, just I love my brother, and I want him to be able to feel the same level of freedom and privilege that I do, you know. So yeah, that's it. I am here to support everyone and anyone who needs it, and I want to offer my deep respect for everyone who's fighting so hard right now to create this change. And I just want to tell everyone in the Black community that I stand with you, and I really hope, and I truly feel that we are moving to some great change. I really do. For everyone who's contributing to the protest, please stay safe. I hope all of you have a good day, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Thanks, guys.